There are 3 things I've learned to do over the course of my life that have positively impacted my finances, my relationships, and my sense of self. And I'm going to share those today in this video. So whatever age you are or whatever stage of life you're in, you can and you should start implementing these 3 skills today. If you're new around here, I'm Ashley and welcome to my channel. And here you'll find content designed to inspire women to live intentional lives and really prioritize their personal growth and their well-being. And if that sounds like your kind of thing, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get into this video. Skill number 1. How to manage your money. For many, including me, having a good relationship with money doesn't always come naturally. We live in a society that encourages us to spend more than we have, subconsciously telling us that the more things we own, the more expensive they are, the better we are and the happier we will be. Essentially, we are taught to tie our self-worth to our net worth. But this is a lie that will keep you broke and sad. Getting to grips with your money, also called financial literacy, is all about developing 6 core money skills. Learning how best to earn, invest, spend, save, borrow, and protect your money. Most of us didn't learn this in school. In fact, here in the UK, money management skills only became part of the curriculum in 2014, which coincidentally was the year that I graduated. I entered the workforce a naive 22-year-old, not knowing a thing about investing for retirement, about how a LISA can help me buy my first house, about how to protect my savings from inflation. So many things I just didn't know. And as a result, I wasted a lot of money, but more importantly, I wasted one of the most valuable resources that we all have, time. Time in which my money could have been generating me more income. Consistently saving and investing in your 20s, say, is definitely going to get you a lot more returns than starting in your 30s. Nevertheless, speaking from a 30-something-year-old, it is never too late to start prioritizing your financial literacy. There are so many accessible resources these days. There are podcasts, there are YouTube videos, there are books. I've been reading some great books on money recently, and I would definitely recommend, if you're a beginner, get yourself stuck into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, I Can Make You Rich by Ramit Sethi, and the classic Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. But if you prefer video content, my favorite financial YouTuber at the moment is Nisha. Her stuff is just so clear, concise, and it will definitely get you on the road to financial literacy. And I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. Skill 2, how to set goals and action them. There's a really famous quote that I love that says, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." I truly believe that it's the key to a better and more fulfilled life, because without a plan, you become a reactive person rather than a proactive one. And if you're not sure of the difference, let me break it down. So a reactive person is someone that is constantly having to react to so many stressful events in life because they're not planned for things. Whereas a proactive person is able to seize life's opportunities because they have direction. They have purpose, they know where they're going, they know where they're headed. I didn't do a lot of life planning in my early years, especially in my 20s, and because of that, I've had to change and adapt my goals quite a few times over the years. I'm here to remind you, it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. You have resilience, and no matter how many times you get knocked down, you can get back up. This is what goal setting is all about. So it's never too late to evaluate your life and start setting yourself some goals. In preparation for this year, I wanted to see if there were any strategies that I could employ that would help me to achieve my goals this year. All of the things that I looked at boiled down to this one key thing. You need to take action. Sounds really simple, right? Now, we can help ourselves to take action by creating an environment that motivates us to do so, or creating systems that allow us to take actions consistently. And if you're a visual person, you can even create visual stimuli that's going to encourage you to keep doing those actions that are going to set you on the path towards your goal. But one thing is for certain, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So if just wishing about your dream life hasn't worked out for you, maybe you should try this instead. Pick up a pen and try and answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what would my better life look like? It's really important to visualize what you want your future to look like. Thinking big and setting aspirational goals, even if they seem a little bit challenging, is the best way to go. Number 2, what goal do I want to prioritize over the next 3 months? Trying to work in a smaller time frame is going to be a lot more effective for you in the long run. When we have really grand timescales, a year or something to that effect, sometimes it's really easy to lose focus. So narrowing that scope allows you to be a lot more intense and a lot more intentional about what you want to achieve. And lastly, number 3, what steps can I take to get there? Once you've been able to narrow down your goal, you've prioritized one that you want to focus on over the next 12 weeks, then you've got to take those little steps. There are various ways to approach breaking down your goal into achievable steps, but I actually like to reframe it differently. I like to ask the question, what could stop me from achieving my goal? For me, it's always been easier to identify the obstacles to me achieving something rather than having to break it down another way. Now, as a mum of 2, super busy all the time, the limiting factor for me in my life, my greatest obstacle, is my lack of time. I really had to be specific about when I was going to try and action my goals, and it kind of revolves around working to my kids' schedule, so usually early in the morning or later in the evening. So in summary, there's always going to be aspects of your life that you can't control, but you are in control of so many aspects of your life and you need to take hold of those. And setting goals is a fantastic way to do that. So put yourself on your path to achieving your dreams by creating some goals for yourself today. Skill 3, be content. Now I need to clarify because sometimes they're used interchangeably, but being content and being happy are not the same thing. Happiness is a really strong yet often short-lived emotion. We may have periods of happiness when, life is going really well, you've got a promotion, you've fallen in love, you found a $5 in your pocket. I love those moments. But the bad news is that there's always going to be some bad news that's going to turn that happiness into a different emotion. But contentment is different. Contentment is defined as a sense of peace and a sense of satisfaction that transcends the current moment. It's something that's a lot more longer lasting. And because of that, you can be content but not be happy at the same time. I'll give an example. When I was single, I really wanted to be in a relationship, and I was fortunate enough to find my partner in university. We were dead set on getting married really early. The one stipulation that my mum had is that I had to graduate. So once I got my first class degree, I graduated at 22 and got married at 22. Now, by today's standards, that's super early, and so many people thought that we were crazy. Maybe we were, with hindsight. I can tell you now that in almost a decade of marriage, there have been so many ups and downs. And the truth of it is, I have not always felt happy. There have been times when I've compared myself to my single friends, or when I've compared myself to my friends that don't have children, and they seem to have so much more time and more money and more freedom than I have. And it can get you down. But then I remember life is actually good. My life is good. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for who I am and who I'm becoming. And I'm hopeful for the future. And I say all of this to say, if I had decided to chase happiness in those moments where I was comparing myself with other people, I might have called it quits on my marriage. I might have decided never to have kids. And for some, that's a completely viable option. But for me, I've had this realization that maybe pursuing happiness would have left me a lot more unhappy. If I had attempted to pursue happiness at all costs, I may have missed out on so many of the beautiful moments that I've been able to share with my husband and my children. Moments that really have been invaluable to me. And this is why I believe that this saying is true. The grass is not always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. If you can truly reflect on your life and say, you know what, my life is good. I'm okay, then you can learn to be content. And if you're not happy with something, that's completely fine. You can always aspire to greatness by continuing to set yourself goals for your future, but aim to learn and grow from your current reality. Always ask yourself, what should I be putting into practice now in order to be ready to receive what I've been asking for? And you might just find that happiness can be a state of mind. Okay, those are the 3 simple skills that you need to master in order to attain your better life. If you can master your money, if you can set goals and action them, and if you can be content with your stage in life and learn to work from where you are right now, you're going to be well on your way to a better and more fulfilled life. I can promise you that. If after watching this video, you've thought to yourself, I'm ready to make some changes in my life, I would recommend that you start off with setting your goals for this year, or at least evaluating the goals that you've already set, making sure that they are the most effective possible. And this video can help you. In my goal setting video, I delve into my goal setting process and where I can share with you some of the things that I've learned that can be great tools so that you can start making transformative changes in your life today.